All right, let's do this. Today, we're going to tackle all of the English conditionals and make sure you can use them with total confidence. We'll start with a super quick look at two you might already know, the zero and the first. First up, the zero conditional. Now, you can just think of this as the fact conditional. We use it for things that are 100% always true. Scientific facts, habits, rules. If the first part happens, the second part is guaranteed to happen. And the structure, it's super simple. If plus present simple, then present simple again. Take a look at these examples. See, there's no imagination here at all. If you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. That's just science. If kids don't get enough sleep, they get tired. That's a general truth. With the zero conditional, the result is always a sure thing. Okay, so what about the first conditional? This one is also based in reality, but it's all about the future. We use it for situations that are real and very possible. It's not a guaranteed fact like the zero conditional, but there's a really high chance it'll happen. The structure here is if plus present simple, and then will plus your main verb. Check these out. If it rains tomorrow, I'll stay home. Is it possible it's going to rain? Yep. If you study hard, you will pass your exam. Is that a real possibility? Absolutely. These are just realistic situations we think and plan for. So here's the key difference. Zero is for facts, and first is for real future possibilities. All right, so we've covered reality. But you know what? English is way more fun than just talking about reality, isn't it? What if we want to talk about things that aren't real? What if things were totally different from how they are right now? And let's push that idea even further. What if we want to look back at the past and imagine a completely different outcome? What if something that happened just didn't? This is where it gets really interesting. What if we could actually go back and change the past? This brings us right into the world of the second and third conditionals, which are all about imagination, big dreams, and, even a little bit of regret. Okay, let's jump into the second conditional. I like to call this one the dream conditional. Why? Because it's for imagining a different reality right here, right now, or in the future. So when do you use it? You use it for stuff that's unreal, or totally in your imagination, for talking about your dreams, for asking hypothetical what-if questions, and for things that are really, really unlikely to ever happen. The most important word to remember here is imaginary. Now, the structure here is a little bit tricky, so listen close. The if part of the sentence actually uses the past simple tense. But, and this is so important, we're using a past tense to talk about an imaginary present or future, not the actual past. Weird, right? Then the result part uses would plus the main verb. Let's see how this works. If I won a lottery, I would travel the world. Okay, reality check. Did I win the lottery? Nope. It's pure imagination. If I were you, well, am I you? No. If she had wings, does she have wings? Of course not. It's all about dreams and what-ifs. This little comparison makes the difference so clear. The first conditional is a real possibility. If I study, I will pass. That can really happen. But the second conditional is more like a dream, or maybe an excuse. If I studied, I would pass, which kind of suggests that I'm not studying now. See? One's a plan, the other is just imagination. So if the second conditional is for dreaming about the present, what about the past? Well, that leads us to our final one, the third conditional. This one deals with something a little heavier, imagining a different past. It's often called the regret conditional. We only use this one to talk about the past, and not just any past, but an unreal past. We use it to talk about regrets, things we wish we did differently, missed opportunities, basically to imagine a different result for something that's already over and done with. The structure here looks like the most complicated, but I promise it makes sense. The if part uses the past perfect tense. That's just had plus the past participle, the third form of the verb. Then the result part uses would have plus that same past participle. Let's do another reality check here. If I had studied, I would have passed. So what really happened? The reality is I didn't study, and so I didn't pass. If she had left early, she would have caught the bus. The reality? She left late, and she missed it. The past is set in stone. We're just imagining what might have been. This comparison is so important. The second conditional is a dream about now. If I were rich, I would buy a car. The third conditional is a regret about the past. If I had been rich, I would have bought a car. One is imagining a different present, the other is imagining a different past that we can't change. Okay, you ready for a quick pop quiz? Look at these three sentences. Can you figure out which conditional is which? Go ahead and pause for a second and think about it. And here are the answers. Number 1 is the first conditional. That's a real possibility for the future. Number 2 is the second conditional, a totally imaginary present. And number 3 is the third conditional, a regret about the past. So, how'd you do? Now, I'm going to give you my secret trick for getting this right every single time. Just ask yourself these 4 simple questions. First, is it a fact? Then it's 0. No? Then ask, is it a real future possibility? Then it's first. Still no? Okay. Is it imaginary now? It has to be second. And if not, it must be a regret about the past, which makes it third. It's that easy. Before we finish, let's quickly look at the biggest mistakes students make so you can avoid them. A huge one is putting will in the if part of the sentence. Never, ever do that. People also forget the word have in the third conditional. And finally, be careful not to mix up the past simple and the past participle verbs, like ate versus eaten. So let's put it all together in one final master table. This is your cheat sheet. 0 is for facts. If you heat ice, it melts. First is for real possibilities. If I study, I will pass. Second is for dreams. If I were rich, I would travel. And third is for regrets. If I had studied, I would have passed. So from now on, just ask yourself, is it real? Is it imaginary? Or is it a regret? That question will always lead you to the right conditional. I'll leave you with one last question, using a conditional, of course. If you had started learning this earlier, would you have mastered it by now? I really hope this helped you feel way more confident with English conditionals. If you found it helpful, please do us a favor and like, share, and subscribe to Nest Lingua so you can keep learning with us. Thanks so much for watching.